Hi folks, welcome to another Tuesday evening session. And we're going to work on the good old Tai Chi principle of relaxing. We've been doing a lot of conceptual work over this last month or two. I'm looking at technical details and forms, looking at, how do you actually make everything work at a real technical level. And we wanted to bring ourselves back to soft, relaxed, without effort. So I want to start running through the animals. We'll do a full set on these. And while you're doing this, really try to be relaxed. Really try to be soft. Don't make this a complicated, wrought effort. Make this be something you're just doing. So starting with the bear. Really feeling what it feels like to do this. Whole body relaxed. And get the tangible feeling. Zoom into the little parts in your body that are moving freely or that you're finding a little bit of obstruction in. Really see what that feels like. Checking it out. Getting that feeling of the head top suspended. And again, the important thing about the suspended head top is feeling the open body hanging down. So suspended head top is about a sinking with space feeling, not a thrusting up. So feel your neck. Feel your shoulders, all around the shoulders, across the top of the shoulders, across the back where the shoulder blades are, underneath your armpits, where your arms fit into the shoulder socket. Really feeling that. Feel out along your arms. Feel what's happening in your upper arms. Feel what's happening in your elbows as the arms change slightly. This isn't arms of steel zombie apocalypse. There's a little change in the arms. Feel the forearms and feel if you can feel it as if the flesh is melting down your forearms. The wrists open. The palms soft. You can feel the air in front of your front palm. And the fingers, space in the fingers. The head top suspended. The open body, follow it down from the head, through the neck, torso, so the chest is relaxing, the area under the shoulder blades is soft, solar plexus area is soft, lower abdomen, your lower back gives, tailbone hanging, soft around the sides of the belly, soft around the stomach area. Find your hips. Watch how the two hips are changing out of phase with each other as the right closes, the left opens. As the left hip closes, the right opens. Feel inside the hip joints, inside the quads. Feel around the sides of the hips, trying to let that go. Feel your butt cheeks. Really trying to relax those. The thighs. Feel the upper thighs, the inside of the thighs, the front of the thighs. Letting them go. Down to the thighs just above the knees. Feeling that relax. The knees have space in them. Just like the hip joints, the two knees are out of phase with each other. So the emptying legs knee moves forward. The filling legs knee will move back, although you don't notice it as much. But notice how the moving forward knee is one knee and then the other knee. Down through the calves, the lower legs. Really trying to soften those. Easier to do on the empty leg. So keep letting go. Ankles are open. Top surface of the feet totally relaxes. Toes are relaxed. Bottom surface of the feet relaxes. You still have the arch. There's space between the arch of the foot and the ground. It's not mashed down to the ground. But all around the tripod, the whole foot is relaxing. (70-30 bear), keep the same thing from the V. You shift forward and stay forward, open, close, twice. So I shift forward, I close the front hip joint, I open the front hip joint, staying in the front leg, I close the front hip joint, then come back. So make sure this isn't a forward and back. You do the close, the open, and the close off the front leg. And then get all that same stuff. Rear crown of the head as if suspended, feeling the whole body. Everything open, relaxing. You can really let the arms go with the 70-30 bear. Letting everything go. One more round, once on each side. The tiger. Everything forward, awareness keeps going forward. Everything forward, awareness keeps going forward. It's Valerie who's been cleaning herself and seems to have a throat full of dog hair. Feel the roundness in the arms. Feel the forearms rotate and the energy keeps going forward. Roundness in the arms, rotation. Stepping is easy, the weight shifts are crisp. As the arms are round, they're slack and loose. As you sit back and the forearms rotate, some tautness will develop, but no tension. Make sure you're not forcing the arms at all. Tiger claws don't mean going rawr. It means letting that pour through you and go out. And feel how the changes in the arms reflect through the shoulder and neck and the whole torso down to the base of the spine. So feel that change ripple through you. Another round, once more on each side. "70-30 tiger." Beth's facing the same way as you, so you can put two of us together. This is a weird diagonal thing. So as you step, the hands come up along the middle line, then shift and turn, drive the bottom hand out straight in front of you and back. Up the center line, shift and turn. This is one of those elastic bands between the hands. The waist turn separates the two hands. The gaze stays frontal, looking through the fingers of the bottom hand. And send it straight out, not up or down or the same direction you're going, straight out. And go ahead and work the breathing. Breathe in as the hands come up, long breath out as you send the bottom hand out. Breathing in, long breath out. Feel the increasing distance between the two hands. Turning of the waist separates them. Loose, tightening it up, no tension. The shape creates a tautness between the hands, but the muscles are soft. Once more on each side. Walking monkey. Again, you can see the directions with Beth. So step out with the left hand and the left foot. Long line from the rear foot all the way to the tips of the fingers. Take the fruit. Right hand, right foot, long line. Take the fruit. Step back, already lengthened, and reel it in. Lower back does the reeling. Back, already lengthened, reel it in. So feel from the ball of the rear foot to the tip of the fingers and release. Ball of the rear foot to the tip of the fingers and release. Start out long, pull it back along that line. Starting out long, pulling it back along that line. Long breath in, short out breath. Long breath in, short out breath. Short in breath, long out breath. Short in breath, long out breath. One more time through it. Classic monkey, cross balance, step with the left foot, get the right hand ready, extend, catch the peach, rear foot comes in. Right foot forward, left hand ready. Extend, catch the peach, rear foot comes in. It's a long line again, but it's from the other side. So when my right foot is forward, I feel the line from right foot all the way to left hand, and I release. Left foot is forward, feel the line from the left foot all the way to the right hand, and release. As you extend forward, you create the conditions that when you let go, it closes your fingers and brings your rear foot in. So this is the work, creating the condition, then you just let go. Try to do this as easily and with as little effort as possible. Once more each side. The gentle and tender deer. Rear leg through the body, out to the fingers and beyond. Follow it, rear leg up through the body, arms, fingers, and beyond. Make sure that the end of this is going out, not dropping down. It's easy for this to kind of reach a peak and then deflate. So feel it come all the way through you and beyond. You can get a little bit of sitting down at the end, sit into your 70-30, but make sure that launches the energy out past the hands rather than bringing everything down, like dropping a sack of potatoes. You sit down and that sends more out. It doesn't drop the balloon. And of course, don't forget your little deer smile. Really feel gathering and comes through the body and beyond. Gathering comes through the body and beyond. Once more each side. %, deer. Make sure your rear knee only moves forward and back along the line of the toes. Don't let the rear knee wobble. So step forward with the left foot and make sure the hands go up over the top towards the outside. For some reason, people always want to reverse the hands. 4 times on each side and then change. Rear knee moves forward and back along the line of the toes. It doesn't get pulled with you. The pumping up and down on the rear leg and the turning of the waist towards the front, towards the outside, towards the front, towards the outside. That's what drives the move. Up and down on the rear leg, waist turns to the front, to the outside, to the front, to the outside. The rear knee does not come along with that. And all your weight is in the back. As you do this, really try to relax the shoulders. So you'll notice the front shoulder closes and opens and closes and opens. That's following the motion of the waist. So really try to get that front shoulder really naturally following the waist. When you've got that feeling, notice the same feeling on the back shoulder. It's opening and closing just out of phase with the front shoulder. So as the front shoulder opens, the back shoulder closes. As the back shoulder opens, the front shoulder closes. All driven by the pumping of the rear leg and the turning of the waist. Shoulders are really relaxed. Pay attention to the front ankle. As you sit down, the ankle opens so the foot's closer to the ground. As you stand up, the front leg straightens and it pulls the front of the foot off the ground. You're not doing any of this. The only doing is in the pumping of the rear leg and the turning of the waist. And then that ripples out through the rest of the body. Once more on each side. Standing at the edge of the abyss, white crane spreads wings. Left finger's inside right elbow. Remember, the foot that steps out is going to go with the hand that goes down. So left hand drops, right hand comes up. Right hand comes into left elbow. Elbow hand goes down, that foot steps out, 100% no weight. Back. Really feel the wings spreading. This is a rounded feeling. It's not angular and straight. Body, breath, and mind in sync. The body opens, the breath comes in. The body closes, the breath goes out. Opening and inhaling, closing and exhaling. Let your awareness follow this too. Awareness expanding, awareness focusing in the center. Feel the space around you, everything back into the center. Body opens, breath comes in, awareness expands, body closes, breath goes out, awareness focuses. Keeping all the weight in the back. Once more each side. Open-handed crane, step forward, palms up, rear foot takes a half step. Open your wings, flap them and squat. Don't worry about how far you squat. Aim your hands towards your knees. Back up and back. Step forward, palms up, rear foot takes a half step. Open your wings, flap the wings, bring the feet together, squat. Wings towards the knees. Make sure that the squatting involves actually sitting down. It's not just bending over the upper body. The butt needs to drop. When the butt stops, you're done squatting. So it doesn't matter how far you go. What matters is that you get your butt going down. Palms open and up, half step, wings open, flap the wings, bring the feet together, squatting. Palms open, half step with the rear foot, flap the wings, bring the feet together, squatting. Breathing in, breathing out. Another breath in between. Breathing in, breathing out. And of course, feel all the space around you. Everything comes into your center. Body, breath, and mind in sync. Opening, inhaling, expanding, closing, exhaling, focusing. Another breath in between. Once more each side. The 5 animal frolics. We've been recording an online beginning class. So if you know anybody who wants to start doing Tai Chi, point them at RockyMountainTaiChi.com, and there's an online beginning class there that's got, we just put up the 9th out of 13 beginning class lessons last night. And so as part of that, we work on the animals a bunch with people to get them actually doing Tai Chi movement with something that's a little bit less demanding than, 4 corners or something. And so we've been doing the animals a lot while we've been doing that. And the really nice thing about them is they give you a chance to do the same movement over and over. So no time is precious. It's not like doing the form where, oh my God, that move went by and I screwed it up. You get to do it over and over. So each time you get to try it again. And they're relatively simple, so you can do like what we were hopefully doing today, of really feeling what it feels like and noticing if you're forcing, noticing if you're doing hard force, or if you're letting this be all soft and gentle. And so you can really work on some of that Tai Chi stuff through these, and it should leave you feeling pretty good at this point. So let's do 2 first thirds, and I want you to have that same feeling of total ease, no efforting, just letting it happen. We're not going to hold postures. We'll do it at about that same pace we were just doing the animals at. And just let the motions play out through you. And watch them happening as you come into single whip. Watch all of this happening as the hand turns over, rather than it just being a bulk thing. So let it happen, and let it happen with the motion playing out through you, but not via efforting, via relaxing and letting go. So 2 first thirds. It's possible I'll say something during them, but mostly I just want you feeling and doing it as softly and as relaxedly as possible. And go ahead. Totally relaxed. Totally soft. We're going to do another one, but I want to call out a couple moves and have you do those with me first. And the reason is really to not have it just be the end points. It's not a slideshow where you're in push and then maybe you take another slide here, another one here, and the last one at the end. I want you to notice all of the changes that go along through there. So let's start from shoulder strike and go into white crane and just do that a couple times. So get yourselves in shoulder strike and shift and turn and come into white crane. And back to shouldering. And shift and turn and come into white crane. And now this next time we do that, notice all the motion of your hands as that's happening. It's not just that they're here and then they're here, but notice the path the hands take, both of the hands as you're going into it. So from shouldering, shift and turn, watch the path of your right hand and of your left hand as it arrives. Again, shouldering, path of the right hand and the left hand as you arrive. And then at the very end, we've just done the punch, and we're here at the final push. You sit back, watch the path of your hands as you turn and as the hands come down. There's a long way as they're doing all of this. And so really enjoy that arc. So I'll face the same way as you because you know the move. There's no reason to not do that. So take it from the push at the end. Sit back, see your hands moving through space. Turn, watch them moving through space, and especially here. This is a long way down to the palms up at the bottom of the curve. And step back and cross. Again, push. Sit back, arms extend, and watch them moving through space. Okay, another first third. And you know what to do. There's only 13 moves, so you get 13 opportunities to really savor all the bits in there. And letting everything be relaxed and soft will make you more able to enjoy the motion as it goes through you and through the space around you. And go ahead. So soft and so relaxed. You don't even disturb the air. So you notice as you're moving through the air, and you do that without causing any disturbances. If you were in water or a pond, your form would generate no ripples. Okay, now Beth will continue.
I want to look at the idea of syncing. We always talk about syncing in Tai Chi. Sink and step, sink and turn, whatever. Sink and do something. So the body, the flesh, is always sinking. You're always letting gravity go. You've got this something holding you up from the rear crown of your head, and everything else is always dropping down with gravity. But that begs the question of how come we don't end up, 2 inches from the ground by the end? If everything you do is you sink and you sink and you sink and you sink, but we don't keep getting lower and lower and lower. So the idea of sinking is that it goes through the body, hits the ground, the root, and the root then can send rebound back up, like bouncing a basketball. Right? You do the down, the up happens. So Jane used to always say this to us: throw open the joints of the body so the weight can drop through it. And it took me quite a while to understand that what she was telling us was not to drop the body, but this idea of throw open the joints so the weight can drop through the body. It goes down, up just happens, so you don't just keep sinking, 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 sinking. You're not in quicksand. You don't want to do the movements as if there was no bottom and you're just always going, going, going. But one of the ideas of sinking can lead to this feeling of this drop, making what I call exclamation points, so that you're, sink and turn, and then there's my exclamation point. Sink and step. Sink and complete the posture and sink, and everything just becomes a little bit episodic almost, and like you think about these places you want to end up going to along the way, and they become a little marked. We know that the Tai Chi should just keep flowing. A creek or river or whatever, it doesn't hit a rock and go, woo, I hit a rock, and then, oh, right, okay, move on, next one. It hits the rock, it splashes, things go, but it just keeps flowing, flowing, flowing. So sink is the flow that runs through you. There was a time, I'll tell a little story, that Maggie told me something that kind of blew my mind. She said, don't drop the weight indiscriminately. And I spent a long time trying to figure out, what does that mean? But don't drop the weight indiscriminately. And it's this thing that can lead to what we call the sack of potatoes form. I get into the final posture, boom. That's the sack of potatoes. That's an indiscriminate weight drop. We need to drop the weight gently and through the joints, but that doesn't mean that the body makes the drop. The drop happens, it should not be perceptible. Think about looking at Professor Chung doing the form. You don't see these moments where, ha-ha, I'm there. And we tend to have a habit of wanting to put that into our forms. I know I do, I see it in other people, so I know I'm not unique in that way. And so I want to do some work where we just look at staying gentle and unperturbed while we let the weight drop. The rebound will happen. You don't do it. There's no need to drop the sack of potatoes so that you feel something coming back up. In fact, that will keep you from it. So let's do a first third and see what you see in doing this, and notice the places you want to make exclamation points or the moments you have a tendency to drop the sack of potatoes. Don't drop the weight indiscriminately. let it move through the joints and reach the ground, go into the root, however deep your root is, but there's a bottom, and then it will come back up. You don't have to even worry about the up. Just let the body hang, be open, and keep everything fluid. Okay, begin. So you might have noticed places where you had this desire to put a little ending on what's happening. I think single whip is a really good place to look at this because it's got so many different parts. So just to talk about it first, and then we'll do it. So there's the desire to sit back and kind of drop so that you're sure that you've emptied this foot. You know, we're always making you stop and empty the foot. So that desire to get here, and then a little bit of a sack of potatoes to get yourself to get the foot off the ground. Then things are okay here. And then we can kind of get, oh, right, I've got to gather. And it crunches the whole body. And I'm saying these things because I see them in myself. So maybe you have these things too. Maybe it's somewhere else. But a little bit of a crunch the body up because everything is gathering, rather than keeping the body open and letting the gather happen. Then it comes out. Boom. Okay, gotcha. Well, there's an exclamation point. I send it out, and there's a little, bang. Nobody really does that, but there's little hints of it. So, just because you're sending a strike out, remember, we keep the jinn inside unless there's some other person there that we're trying to send the jinn into. So you're not striking somebody. Yes, you can imagine that the function is that it's a strike, but if you get too caught in the strike, now you're a little stuck. So yeah, it goes out, but then you got to keep going. Then here's another place where I have a tendency to get a little caught. I step, and it's like, oh, we got to get down, get under this hand. Oh, I'm down here. And then I'm back up. And then, oh, this hand. Boing. Let's do single whip. And notice, I'm not going to have you make the exclamation points. You make them on your own or you don't. We're trying to take them away. But I want you to notice all the places where you can keep the flow going, rather than treating it as pieces, even though we teach it and work on it in pieces. But let's put it all together. So we'll just take it from push and go into single whip. So as you stand here, before we start moving, throw open the joints of the body. Your rear crown is suspended. Your feet are nice and solid on the ground. You've got a good connection through both feet. Your arms are soft. The joints are open. Breathing, relaxing. Take a couple of good breaths. And begin. Let's just do that piece again. And just to be clear, there's still the bellows of the form, and those things are all still happening. We just don't need to see them on the outside. Let's do it again. Nice and open, connected, breathing, relaxing, and begin. And one more time, just working on this set of movements. Begin. Okay. So I hope that gives you an idea. We can look at it in any of the moves. It's always the same problem of, coming to little stops. Back in the dawn of the Dark Ages, when we were kids in school, we had these films that had a little recording that went with it, and somebody'd run the AV, and you had to advance. It was a roll with pictures, and you had to advance it, and there'd be a little ding on the soundtrack to tell you, whoever was running the AV, to send it to the next picture. And I think that's actually a pretty good description of how we run the form in our heads often. I know that's happened to me many times, that there's a little bit of, okay, got to the posture, ding, next one. And this takes away all of that. Now we're like in the 21st century and we can just have everything flow. We don't need to advance to the next one. It's all one flow. The joke, how many postures are in our form? Well, one. You start moving and you don't stop till you've finished it. So let's do one more first third, and we don't have to go fast or slow, just go at a pace that works for you without coming to a stop. So open, free, releasing the chest, the lower back. Let all the joints be thrown open so that the weight can drop through them. Breathing, relaxing, and begin. So the goal is to keep flowing, but to hit the final postures exactly as you go through it. Each expansion leads to the next contraction leads to the next expansion. If you stop and make all those places happen, it's like the holding your breath. So you want it to move naturally. But that doesn't mean that you just flow through everything. It doesn't mean that the punch is, because I didn't actually hit the final posture. So there's your challenge for the next week, is you can notice where you want to take stops and make exclamation points, but make sure you actually hit the final postures.